Have you
Yeah,
started recording?
it's on.
Really? And you didn't tell, so you cut some parts, wherever you want to cut from.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Complete Christian. My name is Chidi, and I've got a special guest today, my wife.
Sit properly. Is that how you're going to sit? Sorry.
How am I supposed to sit?
Oh, okay. No, I'm just.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Complete Christian. My name is Chidi, and I've got a special guest today, my wife. Goodness, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay. So, if you remember the last video that I put out, it was about me when I was, feeling depressed and stuff. So, today is the chance for my wife to talk about, that experience from her own point of view. Obviously, talk about how, she found out what she was experiencing. Yeah. So, yeah, the question is, how did you find out, that I was depressed, and what did that how did that make you feel?
Um, when you say find out, obviously there was no diagnosis, but you could tell something is just not right. I've lived with my husband nearly at the time just over 5 years, and my husband Chidi is always positive, not like the overly jumping around happy kind of person, but he's a positive person. He likes to make plans and obviously achieve. We talk about money all the time, how to make this money, business. But at some point, he went from network marketing, how we're going to hit this target, hit that target, and just went right that. He wasn't talking about it anymore. He didn't want to go out. He didn't want to. I was thinking, this is just not right. But then I just felt, oh, maybe, I just leave him. You talk and talk as a woman, like, you're like, okay, at first you're like, oh, okay, maybe let's see. But after some time, it was getting out of hand. I just thought, no, this is just not it. This is not right. But then I didn't know exactly what to do. And obviously, like, we've all known, so don't share your problem with people. Don't tell third party. Don't tell the third party. Don't tell your family and all of that. So it was like, for me, okay, let's sort it out between ourselves. We've always done anyway. We've never, gone out to people and complained and all of that. No, we've always had all our problems resolved within us. So I thought, oh, this time we'll do the same. But it wasn't working really. You were not ready to talk. You didn't even know what was wrong with you. You just knew you just were not interested in anything really. And obviously I was pregnant. I had a child before, like I had my first. I was pregnant for my second. So it was like a roller coaster. And gradually, obviously, after like, weeks, days went into weeks, weeks went into months and months and months. I thought, no, I can't carry on like this. Because I had to get a second job because I got fed up talking to him and, nagging him and, talking. I thought, you know what, I can't be bothered. I can't kill myself. I'd rather just go and get a second job. I picked the second job. I obviously had 2 jobs now. Pregnant. I had a child before. It was really stressful. Like, I must say, it was very, very, very stressful. Because at work, I just break down at work. I start crying. And obviously, I didn't want people to know what was happening. I didn't want people to ask, oh, are you okay? Like, some of my colleagues noticed that, oh, goodness, what's the matter? But obviously, I didn't say nothing to anybody. I just went to maybe the toilet to just wash my eyes, and I just come out again. A lot of times,
eyes are always swollen.
yeah, a lot of times I had swollen eyes, like my eyelids would just go swollen like that suddenly because I was that stressed. And I'm sure if I checked my blood pressure, it would be high all the time, but then I didn't check because I was scared. Like, I'm literally going to die carrying the whole load on my head, because obviously it affected so much. We couldn't talk. There was financial difficulty in the family. Obviously, you're expecting a baby, you haven't really bought anything, you don't know what's going to happen. You're just like in the middle of nowhere, really. And this was, you have a man in the house who doesn't do nothing. All he does is sleep, or just lay in bed, or lay in the sitting room and do nothing. You go to work and come back, what can I have for jam? Like, are you mad or something? Like, what are you asking me that for? But you've been at home all day. You should be preparing something for me, not asking me what's for dinner. Sometimes I felt like punching his face, to be honest, because I was that angry. I was like really, really mad. But along the line, I had to speak to a friend. Like, it was like, it got to that point where I thought, I can't take this anymore. I had to speak to one of her, really, like, his friend. Like, we call her his second wife. She knows herself anyway. I'm not going to call her name. So I had to, speak to her. This is the situation. I don't know what to do. And literally cried. She was really good because, at that point she wasn't going to be judgmental. She knew something wasn't right. But at that point, all I needed is somebody to speak to, somebody to just area, get it out, like get it out of your chest, like just say something, tell somebody. I actually spoke to two people. So, but she was really helpful because I spoke to her, I told her everything, and she just gave me like her little advice, and obviously we cried together, and I felt a bit better. Then after speaking to her, then obviously having a reflection about the conversation we had, me and her had, and I had to start taking steps. Like, I just said to him one day, I said, we can't continue like this, because this went on for a very long time, like, a very long time. He lost his job in 2013 to start with. So 2014 I was pregnant, I had the child. So just after 2014, that's when like things go improve, because we had to sit down to discuss like, where do we go from here? I didn't want to get anybody involved. I didn't want to tell family or anybody. But then I had to at some point speak to my family, because it was too much. I had to speak to my family because I had a conversation with somebody over like a friend of his as well. I thought he was his friend, but I spoke my mind how I actually felt about the whole situation. But I realized later it wasn't actually the person I expected I was talking to, was someone else. And it brought about a whole lot of problems. I really don't want to go into that now. And because it was just like beyond me at that point, I had to speak up. I had to open up to my sister and my mom and my dad, and it was total chaos, to be honest. It wasn't a good experience at all. But in the end, we talked and had like this conversation, and like a really, really heart-to-heart conversation about what's the problem. Obviously, he couldn't figure out what was wrong. I couldn't figure out what was wrong. But we just knew just something wasn't right. Just something was not right, and we really didn't know exactly what to do about it. But after we had like this conversation continuously, I think gradually he started picking himself up, because I had to make him see reasons. Like, look, I'm pregnant. Do you want me? I'm going to die really if I carry on like this. So I'm stressed out literally all the time. You're not eating well. You have this stress, like anxiety. You don't know what's going to happen. And obviously, after some time, he started seeing reasons. We always prayed about, like, you have to pray as much as you can, really. And with time, things started improving.
Can you maybe quickly tell them what you were thinking in your head as well? Like, there were some plans you had.
Well, yeah, in my head, I was thinking to myself, you know what? If he carries on like this, I'm literally going to get a job somewhere far away, run away with my child, my first. Because I felt this is just wickedness. This is just not on. You can't do this to somebody. This is just not fair. This is just not fair. Because it was that bad. I said I was going to get a job somewhere. Because I said to him, if you don't do anything about this, if you don't get out of that chair or that bed, I'm going to get, in my head I was thinking to myself, I'm going to get a job far away, maybe one day, grab my daughter and off I go. That's it until you sort yourself out with whatever is wrong with you. But then I never knew my husband was depressed, like going through depression really at the time. But because like when you're living with, when somebody's going through depression, the person themselves may not know they are. It is the people living around them who should be able to pick out that signs to say, this person definitely has a problem, this person needs help. But at the time I had no clue. I just knew it wasn't right. And I just felt he's just being lazy, he's just being horrible. you don't want to hustle and you just want to leave me to suffer and everything. But actually, that wasn't what he was thinking. But this was what was going through my head. I was going to run away and leave you.
Mm. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, going, thinking back at everything, I felt sorry, for everything, but it's just that, I couldn't help myself really at that point, and thank God we came through. So, what do you think was, you know, the way that we got through that? What do you think was, yeah?
I think the biggest part of it to me was communication. Because at some point you didn't really want to talk. Obviously, I don't know if you didn't know what was happening to you anyway, so you couldn't even be bothered to speak or to have a conversation. All you just needed was just to lie there and just, I don't know, obviously I don't know what was going through your head, but you didn't want to say anything. So, but obviously I kept pushing and pushing. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. We can't carry on like this. Let's talk. Me, I like to talk. I like to resolve issues. It's like, let's talk. And I kept pushing and pushing until obviously you got up one day and we had a conversation, and I was asking what was the problem, what is wrong with you, and you just couldn't say. But communication, I would say, is the biggest part of it, and prayers as well. We prayed and we're communicating, and obviously gradually it got better, gradually and gradually and gradually. I had to even start talking to, okay, what about applying for jobs? Okay, even me, I had to even go online to search for jobs and say, oh, look at this job, look at that job, apply here, apply then. At that time, obviously, you had no interest in doing anything really. So I had to take up that role to find you a job. We spoke about it, submitted your CV, spoke about it, and gradually you go back on your feet really. So it was just a gradual process of, even though you're feeling hot and angry and regret and pain, you still, try and support this person, even though you have to realize this person is still your spouse. If they go down, you're going down with them, really. Depending on what people think about marriage. If they're going down, you're going down with them. And you really don't want your spouse to go down like the drain. You really don't want that. That's not why you got married in the first place, to somebody you feel like you love. So I had to take up the role, like, okay, find him a job, and we kept talking and I kept encouraging him, let's do this. It doesn't really matter where you start from, it doesn't matter that the network marketing failed, we didn't get all the thousands we expected, but we could start from somewhere, we could do something, and gradually you picked up, didn't you? Gradually, and it got better.
Thank God for that. So, like, what would be your advice, to someone whose spouse is going through any of this? Because it could be either way. It could be like your husband that is going through that, or it could be your wife that is going through that, or it could actually be your child, that is going through that. But once you pick up those things that are not normal, like their behavior, their attitude, and you just notice it's changed and it's gone down, and you start thinking like, what's going on? Like, what would be your advice to people like that?
My advice to families would be, if you notice anything not right, anything unusual, ask questions. Obviously, you have to observe and know that, oh, there's something not right here. Then probably ask questions. If they're not opening up, like in the case of my husband, I wasn't interested in talking or anything, get someone else. In my case, I didn't get anybody. Obviously, that was ignorance. But get somebody who they will probably listen to, because his friend I spoke to, we went for a wedding and she met him and she was really talking to him and she broke down. She was crying like, why are you treating my friend like this? Why are you doing this? Blah blah blah. He felt really bad as well when we got home. Obviously, from that contributed to like opening the communication. We started talking about these things more because I eventually spoke to somebody, but then it took me so long to before I got to that point. So if you observe something not right, or something is just, somebody's being unusual, unusually quiet or moody or anxious, try and find out what's going on with the person. If they're not letting you into like their private space. See if you can get somebody to listen to, maybe their close friend or family. Speak to someone. Speak to someone. You really need to talk, because if you keep holding it in there, one day you can't take it anymore. You could even go down before the person, really. So, most importantly, speak to someone. And then I want to, because of my personal experience, I want to really talk to families, in-laws especially, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, cousin-in-law, whatever you feel like you are to the person. If people are going through stuff, you don't just jump into it. Oh, he's my brother. Why are you treating my brother like this? Or why did you complain to somebody about my brother? You don't even know what I'm going through. You haven't even asked what is wrong with you. What's the problem? You just jump in. Like in my case, I had all sorts thrown at me. How you're horrible, how you're this, how you're that, cousins chatting rubbish, and for me, it was just unreasonable, really, because I've learned a big lesson. I would never do this to my sister-in-laws, never, God forbid. If I have my sister-in-law behaving in a funny way, even if my brother is being horrible, I would have to speak up, like, what's the problem? What is happening? You should hear both sides of the story. Ask the woman, what is your problem? Why did you say this, or why did you act like that? Don't just jump in, because you don't know what is really going on between these two people. You don't know what the woman is going through. You don't know what she's endured. You don't really know. You really have no clue. So don't just jump in and draw your conclusion and support your brother. My brother's defender, you want to fight for him. No. Please, in-laws especially. I know what I'm saying. God will help us. Amen.
Yeah, I mean that's a good one, because if you don't have all the information, you can't make a good judgment. So on my own part, so if you are going through any of these things, we mentioned depression, anxiety, and all those kind of things, please go back and watch my video on the biblical truths that you can use to handle that issue. But there's something else I wanted to point out. That is, if you've had a difficult childhood growing up, maybe you were abused but your parents didn't protect you, maybe it was even your parents that treated you in a bad way, please try as much as possible to forgive your parents and whoever abused you when you were growing up, because it kind of has an accumulative effect on you growing up. Sometimes you, even years and years after that, it just comes on you and becomes overwhelming. Forgive them. It might be hard, but I think that's the best. That's the starting point for your healing. Because the Bible says if we don't forgive, our Heavenly Father will not forgive us. So forgive them. Another reason why you need to forgive them is that maybe they couldn't also help themselves. That's the best they knew of how to raise you or treat you or act around you. They didn't because if they knew better, they would act better.
Probably they didn't experience love.
So some of them, they're just carrying on how they were treated as well, and it goes on like that through our generation. But we are better informed about how to treat our children and how to become, like, even me getting married to my wife and us having children, I've learned a lot as well on like how to treat children. I come from I grew up in Nigeria, so I had a different upbringing. So now the generation of my children, I think we have to treat them a different way, because they live in a different culture. So I've learned how to become patient. Okay, I'm learning how to become patient and listen more, and sometimes allow the children to become children, be children, because they're gonna make their mistakes, just like how we made our own mistakes when we were growing up. So I've learned some of our parents, because of their generation, they didn't really know how to do some stuff. So please understand that they couldn't help themselves, and that's why they did what they did. So please forgive them, and that will help you to heal and move on. And God will help us in Jesus' name.
Amen.
So thank you very much for watching, and thank you, my wife, for coming on, jumping on.
Finally.
I know it took a long, So please, if you want her to come back on one of our episodes, please drop a comment down below and say you want her to come back, and we'll push her and see if she will come back.
Schedule.
Yeah, we'll see if she will come back. So in conclusion, I'll just say, let's remember, to fear God in everything we do and keep His commandment, because that is the whole duty of man. So till the next time, God bless you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye. Hello, Mr. Ted. I know somebody said to me. He gave me an error. They said, "Oh, you're softly spoken, Sometimes you have to speak up, but anyway, with time, when you know your patient, you know the people you're going to talk to softly, and people you need to shout at, to get things done." Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
I won't use professional voice. I'll talk normal.
Okay, ready? Don't forget to look at the camera as well.
Okay.
Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Complete Christian. My name is Chidi, and I've got a special guest today. My wife, Goodness. Welcome to
Sorry. I'm trying to blow my nose. I'm like, no, I can't be doing that on camera. Sorry, the last one. Sorry. Alright, they say Goodness is going to help you in this call.
So you're my helper.
That's all. You pastor for yourself, I beg. I'm going to be a nurse, so just pastor your team, they go.
Pastor Larry's wife, what happened?
She's a social worker. She's not a nurse.
Social worker, no, so they're not in the same field.
Wow, she's social work, not healthcare.